Brian, you brought up money. So while we're on money, I'd like to know from the three of you actually, what you spend on an annual basis for personal and property promotions.
This is the holy grail of questions that
Yep.
9 out of 10 you'll never get a straightforward answer on. My answer is twofold. Clearly from what you just heard, I'm not kidding. I had to borrow my friend's convertible BMW. Thankfully she had a work car so much that it started to become like awkward with clients because I'm not into lying, and clearly they're gonna know what it was, a beige two-door convertible and like Jeffrey the Giraffe. I didn't have any money to spend on advertising when I started, period. So what I spend now is not what I did in the first half of my career. And I was a huge proponent, and I think a success story, that you don't have to spend money. Social media, technology, the digital space allows for so many opportunities to not spend money. I should probably go back and revisit that as I'm spending what I'm spending now. But and it's two things. I think the rule of thumb is between 10 and 20% of your gross revenue should be spent on your self-promotion marketing. And then of course, dollars spent by listing vary. I'm not going to spend the same dollars on a $500,000 listing as I am on Casey Key. I'll give you a hard number. I've spent $30,000 on Casey Key. That's a real
Already.
number. Already. We've been on the market 100 and something days, and that's not going to slow down. That's not normal. I'm not saying you should do that every time, but that's also a unicorn property, and I have to be self-aware that it may not sell. So every piece of content I produce has to both market that property, but also market myself in order for those dollars to come back. But that would be my answer, money-wise.
Every piece of marketing is marketing yourself and your product. I mean, if your face and numbers and names not on there somehow, then you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
It's gotta
Very
be,
true.
you know, both of them are personal and properties. So if you're marketing for your seller, I mean, I've had so many ads that have been marketing a property downtown development, and I've sold other properties around town from people calling on that ad. You know, so they called on it just curious about it, but actually still wanted to buy someone in town. Like Brian said, 10 to 20%. I mean, in 2014, I was in a meeting, and we had Jen Horvath, head of marketing, and this has stuck with me forever, so I always repeat it. But she was talking about Roger Pettingale's marketing budget, and at the time, he was doing 20% of gross revenue in marketing, and at the time, he was also doing between 40 and 50 million a year. So I ran those numbers quick. Wow, that's a lot of money. So I don't think I've ever, maybe I've hit 20%, probably not, probably closer to 10%, but it depends on the year too. So it can be anywhere from 35 grand to 75 grand, depends on what kind of properties you have. If you don't have any listings, you're probably spending less on marketing. It's just the way it is. But you still gotta be sending something out, marketing yourself. So I still send out, every other month mailers, all downtown. So I know farming's a good question, but it's hard to pinpoint an exact number, but if you're not doing it, you need to grow, you need to.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? Do you use an outside service for those mailers?
I do. I'm going to keep that going. I've been doing it for a few years, and I've gotten listings off of it. I think I market 7 or 8 different buildings downtown. It's about 350 people, 350 residences. I'm going to start adding in my own on the off month, so now it'll come 12 times a year, but it's going to be a different piece. It can be that piece is. You probably get them at your house, like someone's got your neighborhood, right?
Are you using RSP? Or
Yeah, I'm using RSP.
Yeah, so which company do you use? Are you happy with them?
RSP, I'm very happy with them.
RSP?
Yeah.
What do you see there?
I can look it up. Honestly, that is a spend, like a condo you lock and leave. I don't even think about it. They do everything for it.
I need to do that because I'm overwhelmed by the concept right now.
Their website is phenomenal.
I'm just
Their
like-
website for picking the
They're great.
territories, it's a very user-friendly program.
It's a great product, and you don't have to do 350 listings, so that's $400 a month. So I mean, you can do less than that. I would probably shoot for 100 though, honestly. Like pick a neighborhood that has at least 100 homes.
I think their minimum is 300.
Yeah,
Oh, is
I
it
think they
300?
do
Oh,
have
there
a
you go.
minimum.
Never mind. See, it's been so long I don't even remember.
So you pick the piece, you work with marketing, our marketing, you pick a piece, you get it to them, or they do marketing
do all the
for it?
marketing. They come up
You don't
with
do
little
anything.
stories.
You give them the photos, though. You give them the photos.
No, they will, if
They
you have
take
no
the photos
listings,
off
they
the
will
MLS.
pull photos for you of other listings that people may be interested. It's all hyper downtown.
Okay.
So right now, it's showcasing my listings,
Right.
mainly the collection. And then, but it talks about the market in those areas. So everybody does like to see that, right? It's your monthly or bi-monthly marketing, what things are selling for in your neighborhood. I get one from Brandy Coffee every other month. I like to see what my neighborhood's doing, so I appreciate it. You can let her know
Is
something.
it digital or is it paper?
It's paper.
Paper.
It's paper. I still believe heavily in print.
Heavily, okay. So
Yep.
our RSP is only for downtown, or they?
No, they're all over
Everywhere.
town, all over town.
Right on.
And, so I apologize, I didn't know the minimum was 300, but it's worth it. I mean, it's definitely paid for itself. But then also, it's just the repetition of it, you know, you gotta stay out there.
RSP is the same company as the agent personal assistant
Agent
one that I
personal
show you guys.
Yeah.
They've merged and it's the same company, so.
Now, if you don't, another thought, I don't know if you can share it, maybe you can.
This is all about you, Shareway.
No, I'm saying, I don't know if maybe two agents could share an area, how that would work, I've never.
Well, if you wanted to team up with another agent to do farming, you certainly could. Put
Right.
both
Cut the
pictures,
costs
split the
in half.
cost, split the rewards.
Yeah.
Just whatever you're doing, put it in writing, so I don't have to, you know.
That was my
play
first
rubber
true
band.
luxury listing, by the way, was a mailer that Brian and I collaborated on. At the end of 2013.
Yes.
We created a whole campaign called the Wave Campaign.
Oh, yeah.
And it was Wave, we even got a website, wavelisting.com, and we worked on this for months before we even sent it, but it started with a huge piece. And then it got smaller in different 7 weeks in a row. Like, we really went heavy with it, and marketing helped with us. Got a call, got a listing, over $1 million, and got the buyer, sold both sides. So,
Nice.
oh my God, we probably spent $700 on the campaign, and $2 million in the revenue.
How about you, Rudy?
I
Annual
do mine a
spend.
little differently. I kind of think of it as a business, so a lot of franchises will have a franchise fee, and that's how I always thought of it, marketing. So I take 6% of every commission and just have a separate account for marketing. So that's how I do it. So it fluctuates and it goes up or down. And sometimes I use it all, sometimes I don't, and it's just kind of there, so I don't have to worry about, I don't have any money in marketing now. So
And you have
kind of just sitting in there.
3 massively different personalities
yeah.
in marketing up here.
Absolutely.
Rudy is the absolute old school, tried and true. No one uses more cell phone minutes than Rudy. Jonathan, longtime dedicated in print, believes in print more than anyone, and I'm big digital and social. So 3 totally different perspectives.
I think a combination of all three is good though, too.
Yeah.
And I think we all hit all 3 of those.
Yeah,
Yeah, we learn from each other too.
And we have,
I mean,
yeah,
what he's
absolutely.
done, I'm like, oh God, I should do that. And
Right.
he's done, I'm like, oh, maybe I should start looking.
And
at
again,
that.
going back to collaboration, I have him post stuff on his Instagram, just to get it out
Because
there.
he's got other content.
So he's doing
And
a
I
video
get
for
his
the
discount
collection.
ad rates at Sarasota Mag because he shared his reps with me.
That's correct. So, and the benefits to both of us. So if the collection's getting out there and the developer sees it, because he's got 20,000 followers, he calls me up, he's like, hey, that's a cool video. It's like, yeah, it's great, we worked on that, but Brian's the one that's gonna get it out there for us. He doesn't care who puts it out there, he just wants his product out there. So it's,
Brian, do you do all your own, digital marketing yourself, or do you outsource that?
I do it all myself.
That's impressive.
Frugal. Short arms.
You're younger, you know how to do it all.
Yeah.
That's really, I'm just a control freak, that's all. I'm trying. I have now hired someone and we're in the process to try and transition to her taking it over, but.
There's an interesting article in this week's New York Magazine about realtors and their exposure on TikTok and how much that has helped them. It's a really interesting article. Let's see if I can get the digital version.
In the last few minutes that we have, and then of course if there's any more questions, what really annoys you about working with other agents? Like, to give advice to agents so they don't make mistakes, what's like your one pet peeve?
I'll start.
I don't mind. You go get a response here.
Maybe I shouldn't have asked
Well,
this
my biggest pet peeve
question.
is showing a property and having the other company have 3% minus $250. That pisses me off more than anything.
That pisses me off too.
I hate it,
can't
because it's
say
like,
that.
come on.
and it's a $6 million sale.
Yeah, it's like-
Minus 2.
And I'll even call the broker up and I'll say, hey, come on, so-and-so, like, this is BS. What are you doing that for,
Yeah.
I hate that.
And what do they do the minus the 250 for?
Because the agents, they're charging their agents $250.
Oh, so
per
they're taking it
transaction.
from you.
So the agents are taking it out of the, I don't mind, come on.
The agents
that's-
are charging us their fees.
So that's my biggest pet
Do
I don't
you-
mind anything else, but that's really it.
Do you ever negotiate that with them?
I try to, yeah. I put in on the,
Contract.
under the contract where you got your name on 3%, you know, plus 250.
Yeah, alright, so nobody knows me falling out of my chair. Don't do that! Don't do
I do it,
that!
I don't care.
Don't do that. It's a violation of our code of ethics. Don't do that.
You'll never see us on a compliance panel, by the way.
That's true.
But I still love them. But don't do that. The contract's between the buyer and the seller. It's not between the agents.
Just
So,
write a
Everything on the
commercial contract.
MLS could be.
by the time I get
could
it,
be
it's all
wrong.
been whited
It's just
out.
in the box of the MLS.
Use a commercial contract. You write it
Yeah.
Yeah, use a commercial contract. There
Jonathan,
you go.
what's your biggest pet peeve?
It's a pet peeve, but also can be a really good thing. If you've got the listing, and the buyer's agent just has no clue whatsoever about this area, about this property. They may be from St. Pete. You know, it can drive me nuts when, and this maybe I'm just complaining. I don't know, but they seem to want to make themselves look important, so then they start saying a lot of things that can really derail a showing, a presentation, a listing. So that's horrible. And then you look at their numbers afterwards. They've done one sale for $40,000 or something. They have no clue what they're doing. On the flip side of that, we've come across many agents that are also really new or don't know what they're doing or anything, and let the listing agent take the lead.
Yeah.
Just be quiet.
Yeah.
You know, just listen. Let them take the lead. They know everything about it. You know, that I don't know, right or wrong. That's a pet peeve because it's happened so many times, and I've definitely seen deals fall apart because of it.
Oh,
They
yeah.
start saying things that don't even apply, but now you've planted a negative seed in that buyer's head, and they're gone. They're never coming back. So, you know, that's unfortunately we run into that a lot because we get 100 new agents every month or 1,000 new agents every month, and then 1,000 quit. I don't know. There's a lot, but if you do this for a living as a real business, you may make that mistake. I may have made that mistake. You learn it quick.
Oh, yeah.
You learn it quick, and then you understand what to do the next time. And hopefully, you know, again, the ones that do understand that have been great to work with. You can just take the lead. I mean, there was a sale Brian did, or we did together, $3.5 million. The agent really had no clue, but man, she would call us before she'd call her buyer.
Yeah.
Every single time. No
Yeah,
problem.
she was open, said, I've never done anything at this price point, will you please help? It was the best thing she could do. We told her, we will do everything and you will get your full 3% at closing.
Right.
And it just makes everything much, much easier, more seamless.
You almost need to have an agent that's receptive to that because
Right.
just like.
That's my
It's
answer.
tower, just like.
Yeah, the term, because we all have TikTok or Instagram, that we can all be luxury real estate agents now, I think is absolute hogwash. And it's diluting the service that those of us who do operate in that price point deliver. My biggest pet peeve, especially, is when a junior agent gets an opportunity for a monster listing and tries to handle it themselves. If something falls in your lap or a marketing campaign that you are running strikes hot and all of a sudden you get a $5 million opportunity or a $7 million opportunity, I'm not saying come to me, come to anyone. There's dozens and dozens of us. Go ask for guidance as opposed to trying to go take it on your own and not get it. And then it falls in the hands of a Sotheby's or a Coldwell Banker. Ask for help. And overall, when you get in the price point, not only with the company that we work for, we have to hold ourselves to a higher standard. If you're truly dedicated to working in the luxury space, you also need to hold yourself to a higher standard. Last night, social media, $5.5 million property. I just happened to catch it. Got the buyer for it. He would get on an airplane today to come buy this property. Even to be safe, I sent him the old listing. He's like, tell me the price, I'm on an airplane. So I messaged the girl back. I know good and well that she's been doing this for 5 minutes. She has no business representing a $5 or $6 million property. And she said, I'm like, can you give me the price? What's the expectation for time? How simply, etc. She's like, oh, you'll see everything when it hits the MLS. And now I look like an idiot because she's out, you're putting it out there for the world to see, but now you're gonna tell me to wait for it to hit the open market? Come on.
Did you tell her she has 24 hours?
I thought about it. I really thought
You guys
about it.
understand that, right?
Yeah.
You put a Facebook post out there about a property and it's not in the MLS, you have 24 hours. So that is my pet peeve. If you do not have all of the details you need to not look like a whatever, to your customer, I will gladly call her and get all of the details for you.
Hold on, what if you have a non-MLS, agreement? You know,
If
you
it
can't
is-
market, I think you can't even market.
We can't even market it.
Oh,
And we as a company won't take really non-MLS listings unless it's for a short period of time.
Well, yeah, cause you gotta wait for photography, you gotta
Yeah,
wait
wait
for.
for
Well, that's
video.
different anyway, that's just a
Absolutely.
lane, but still, you can't market it during that time.
Yeah.
Can you email it to your sphere, or can you email?
We can
to
market it within the brokerage.
You can do it within the brokerage. We can do our flash report to get it out there amongst our brokerage, but we can't Facebook it, Twitter it.
Can we email
We
it to
did.
No.
our,
No,
Not to other agencies.
not to other agents, but,
No, not to your sphere.
no.
you can't even email it, like,
Can't.
coming soon.
You can't do a drip campaign with it. You can't do anything like that.
If you know you have a potential buyer for it, could you talk to them?
If it's your listing,
No, if it's his list.
you won't even know about it.
Well, no.
Because it's
within
not
the
in the
company.
SMS.
Flash.
If
Within
it's,
the company,
if it's on flash, tell your customer.
Yeah,
Got
absolutely.
it.
Because if it's
Absolutely.
on Flash, eventually it's going to be on.
It's
there.
gonna be in
And
the
you know it's a signed
MLS. It's
listing.
coming.
Yeah, I mean, I scour those, when those flashes come in, I'm like,
And we sell
There's so
in
many buyers in the
collaboration
properties.
with our meetings.
Right.
Every
Absolutely.
meeting, when agents pitch their listings, there is an agent with a buyer for that property and we make that connection. I mean, that does happen at our meetings, so I
So
love
as long
that.
as it hits listing flash, then we can email it out to our customers?
No,
No, we can't.
Not,
as long as
I
it's
did.
listed. Once it's on the accidental.
But-
if it went
but
in,
if
if it
it's-
came in flash and you have a
Yeah.
customer for it,
Yeah.
you are able to call your customer and
Yes.
say, this is coming.
Yes,
This
but
is
not all
coming.
your customers.
Yeah, you
But if
can't
I've
put
got-
it in
but
a
if I've got
boxy and blast it,
No, no,
no.
but if I've got 10 people that are looking for a
The
house
same
on
thing.
Berkey, for example.
Send it
Yes.
to the 10 people individually.
Exactly, so
Yeah.
I can individually email that to my
Yes.
environment
Yes.
looking on Berkey.
But don't do it like with an e-blast.
No, okay.
right.
Okay.
Usually what I'll do is I'll call the agent that's repping it, I'm like, tell me more, what is it gonna
Yeah, I
look
just
like?
wanna make
How
sure.
can I get photos, how old is the roof, so that I can then call my buyer and say, hey, something's just, it's not even,
Yep.
it's hot, it's not even on the market yet, this is what it is, and we can get in and maybe get a sneak peek before it goes live, and that seems to work well.
I love that, Jimmy.
Is this what we used to call pocket listings?
Yes, and we don't like the term pocket listing because pocket listings are technically illegal. So we just call it off market.
Got it.
We don't like the term pocket,
But
off
pending